Welcome to this BlazeMeter Did You Know session. Imagine you're a tester and you need to test an application where you have to enter a first name and a surname and perhaps an email address. And you want that data to look realistic so you can really test your application. We're going to show you how you can do that with BlazeMeter. So first we needed a test, and we defined our test here in JMeter. We then associated a CSV file with the test, and as part of the definition, we define the name of the file as well as the variable names, and these variable names have then been used within the JMeter test as part of the test. The next step is to take this JMeter and load it into BlazeMeter. So now in BlazeMeter, we need to load that JMeter test. So we go to the upload, we select that JMeter file we just looked at. As we load it into BlazeMeter, we're identifying the fact that there's a CSV file, and there could be many CSV files, and they'd all appear in this right-hand data panel. So here's our CSV file. And we now need to add our rules to generate the data. So we go and say we want a new data parameter. And that data parameter is called first name. To get the real names, these realistic names, we need to use a seed list. So if we look at our functions, we can just search for seed list. And you see we've got a couple of types. So the rand from seed list will give us a random value, and the value we can select a specific value inside the list. We're going to use rand from seed list for example. And as you can see, all we need to do is put rand from seed list followed by the name of the seed list. So we can do the use function to add it to our panel. Now we don't need all these arguments for our example here, so we're just going to remove those. We're going to add the name of the seed list. We can then preview it. Now we can now take this and add a second one for our last name. So we add another parameter. We call it last name. Now we can then just type in our function because you know what the function is now. So we'd say rand from seed list. And then we need the name of our new seed list, which is last names, like so. We can then preview this. So we've now got a first name and a last name. Now we can also combine this into an email address. So if we now add another parameter and we call it email address, all we need to do is take our already defined parameters and use them in this new parameter. So we're going to take the first name, like so. We then obviously need to have a full stop. So we do a plus, full stop. Then obviously we need the last name that we're generating. So we're going to say last name. And then we need the domain. So again, we do a plus, and perhaps we're going to put more into gmail.com, like so. We can then preview this. Now, if we look at our data settings, we can then look at the whole data model. So as you can see here, we've got Jacob Jantz and the email address. So we've got a realistic name. And for our test, now if we want 1 or 1,000 rows, we can just say how many rows we want. This preview will show us what it looks like. And at runtime, we'll generate this data and then supply it to the test to run as part of our test. So what we've shown here is how BlazeMeter can be used to generate realistic names for your testing, improving the overall quality of the data you use as part of your testing. Now please go to blazemeter.com and you can sign up for free to start testing, and go to BlazeMeter University if you want to go try any of our free courses. Thank you.